Okay, so 2012 has seen quite a few interesting technology trends, but I think one of the most exciting has been Raspberry Pi. And what we've seen this year is not only the introduction of Raspberry Pi, but also an increasing ecosystem of hardware and software products for it. And one of the latest products to be released this year is PiFace Digital, and today we've got Andrew Robinson, the developer of PiFace Digital, with us to show us all about PiFace Digital. So Andrew, just tell us a bit about it and what it's for and what it does.
Yeah, it's great to be here, thanks. So this is PiFace Digital, which is a add-on board for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's exactly the same size of the Raspberry Pi, so it doesn't overhang, it fits on perfectly.
Same size, yeah.
Same size, yeah. There's cutouts for the different connectors on there.
Yeah.
It connects well by the expansion header.
Yeah.
And what we've got on the board is we've got 4 switches and 8 LEDs. So
yes.
It's PiFace Digital, it's a digital input-output board.
Okay.
So the idea is it provides people a really quick and really easy way to get things, to connect things to the Raspberry Pi.
Right.
So the fact you've got switches and LEDs, you can start sensing digital inputs and start controlling things right away. There's also a couple of relays on there, and so it was designed for people that maybe don't have that much experience with electronics, and you can think of a relay just as a changeover switch.
Yes.
So if you've got a circuit that you put a switch in, you can then replace that by the PiFace Digital, and then you can get the Raspberry Pi to effectively flick that switch for you.
Perfect. So what you've got here is a Raspberry Pi with a PiFace Digital fitted on top.
So yeah.
Already, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell us how that's...
We've got some software which comes with the board that's free to download.
Yes.
And this gives you a graphical representation of the PiFace board, and it allows you just to check that you've got your wiring correct, or you can see what's happening. So we've put the board on,
yeah.
We've fired it up, and now if I just turn some of these pins on, you can see the LEDs
gotcha.
Come on. And
so those LEDs switch on both on that emulator program and on the board itself.
That's right,
you can
yes.
see that physical connection going on. Okay.
And then equally, as you'd expect, if I press the switch down here,
yes.
then you can see there's a dot appears on screen, so you can see that switch is pressed. If we
Perfect.
press a couple, then you can see the status of the board. So that way you know that the board's working, you've got instant input and you've got instant output.
That is easy, isn't it? So the software works out of the box. You download the software, the PiFace Digital just sits right on top, and you're away, aren't you, within 10 minutes, I suppose?
Yeah, I'd say even less than that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. The chicken is obviously drawing a bit of attention.
Yes.
How's that connected to PiFace Digital? I mean, what's the story there?
So we're really keen to get people interested in electronics and interested in computers, and that's really why PiFace was born.
Yeah.
And so we've taken it into schools to get young people interested, and they're all into Twitter, and so we've got the Twittering chicken, which is just a bit of fun really. And what it is, it's the chicken will read out tweets.
Yes.
And also the PiFace is controlling the motors in the chicken, so it gives it a bit of animation. So if I can give you a quick demo of that.
You can demo it now. Fantastic.
So,
okay.
Basically, we've got a Python program. There's about 40 lines of Python.
So that's a regular command prompt that you've got now on the screen, isn't it? It's
so
just
yeah,
a terminal
so I've
section.
just started a terminal, and then there's some sample code here which listens on Twitter.
Okay.
And then
so you've just pressed the Linux up arrow, and you've got your last command.
So that's
and
the
that's
last
what I love
command,
about
yeah.
Linux.
Yep, and then just press enter, and it's now connecting to Twitter.
10 sensor display on computer #Arduino #10 sensor #Midland tutorial #element 14 http://rfxblj.
Huh. So we've got the chicken speaking. Presumably that's coming out of that little speaker there.
Yeah.
From the Raspberry Pi. The chicken obviously moving about, reading the tweet.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, I get that. That's a really
basically,
good demonstration.
Since all the code is available for this, then you can go and you can edit it. In this case, we're listening for anything on #element 14, but you could have it for your own user, or you could have it a particular hashtag. When we took it in school, they had it on the #Glee, so they were listening to all about the latest musical stars and celebrities, and then that way the chicken moves and reads there's a text-to-speech engine on the Raspberry Pi, which then reads out the tweets, and so you could imagine a child putting that in the kid's bedroom just for a bit of fun.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned that this program was written in Python.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about Python? Does it lend itself well to learning about computer languages?
Yes, absolutely. Python is a nice, easy language to get started on. It's very clean. It's intended. It's where the Pi for Raspberry Pi comes from.
Indeed.
And what I can just do is quickly. It's interactive. So if I just start up Python, and then I'm going to import PiFace.pfio. So that's the libraries that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to type init, if I can type.
Initialize.
So that initialises the board,
Yep.
and then just to show how easy it is, I do pi digital write, and then I'm going to put the pin in. So I want to use pin 1,
Yeah.
and I want to set it to the value 1. So 1 is on, 0 is off,
Yes.
so it's digital. And I press enter, and you can see we've turned the chicken on.
Fantastic.
We now set that pin to 0. Chicken stops.
So a Python script is literally just going to be a collection of those kinds of commands all together in a text file.
Yeah. So if you imagine that, if you've written a few lines of Python, you've got going with all the various if statements. If you can just put in, these two lines wherever you want to turn something on and off, you can then suddenly start controlling things.
Yeah.
With Python. Python, of course, you've got Twitter libraries, you've got Facebook libraries, you've got all the other libraries which you can tie it into.
Yeah.
So really, it's a very powerful way to get going, controlling the physical world, sensing the physical world. So we've seen people build internet radios with it. So you've got Twitter downloading the music and then the Raspberry Pi playing that out, and then you've got the buttons which would change the channel.
Yeah.
So you don't need a monitor. What you could do, you could get a standalone version and then just use the buttons to control just little simple tasks,
Yeah.
and Python just gluing everything all together.
That's really great. So I think we've seen some very interesting applications, as you say already, for Raspberry Pi, and I'm sure as we go forward in time, PiFace Digital will bring along some very exciting applications as well.
I'm really going to be really pleased to see what people come up with it.
Yeah.
Already people have been starting to use it with central heating controllers and other things like that, and I think it's really powerful in terms of controlling things around the house.
Yeah.
You could just automate various tasks by just wiring them in. Where you've got a switch, you can just replace the switch with the PiFace.
Andrew, that looks very exciting. Thank you for coming to Element 14
It's all
today.
right, it's a pleasure.
It's been great.
All right, thanks.
Cheers.